Hi.
Hi.
Who are you?
Bella.
Oh, I'm Caitlin. We're from Feral to Family. Yep, this is super weird. This is our first video. So we
started a feral cat rescue.
we did. We're almost a year old. In 10 days, we'll be a year old officially.
Well, whenever this goes up, I don't know how many days it's going to be.
I forgot about that.
On the 27th.
Yes, 1 year on the 27th. So what we do is we see, well, we saw that feral cats have a need, especially around here, and we are trying to fill that need. So there's lots of organizations that do TNR, which means trap, neuter, release. And for a long time, that's been considered the most humane treatment of feral cats. But we trap them and we socialize them. And that just means basically a lot of time being hissed at and swatted at and just trying to gain the trust of a feral cat. And once you do, they're wicked sweet.
And a feral cat and a stray cat are different.
They are. How are they different?
A feral cat, so a stray cat is one that lives outside and is still like friendly.
Yeah, usually stray cats have had a home before or have been around humans for their entire lives regularly.
A feral cats are often cats that have been outside or lived outside their entire life and have never had human contact and don't have any trust in humans or have had bad human contact, so they don't trust humans. Which doesn't mean that they can't trust humans.
It just means that Bella here and I are doing the hard job, but really wonderful and rewarding job of socializing feral cats and kittens. And you have some people that will tell you that kittens can't be feral. Well, I tell you what, we in the last few months have rescued a couple of feral kittens. They are very feral. They're just,
some of which still don't like us.
Yeah, and they've been here for like a month, some of them, and it's very interesting. Cats they're all different. They all have their own personalities. They all take their own amount of time to socialize. We've had adults socialize in less than a month. We've had kittens take 3 months to socialize, even if we can find them when they're young.
There are some that won't ever want to be a lap cat. There are some that just want to be a lap cat.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's some that aren't feral but don't always like to be touched as much.
Yeah, they all are individuals just like people are. I have had cats my whole life. I had rescued barn cats. My dad rescued barn cats when I was little. Feral cats, once you kind of figure them out and you pay attention to their body language and you treat them respectfully and you love them even though they hiss at you and scratch your hand and bite you and all the stuff, if you if you keep at it, they eventually realize that they can trust you and that you are a friend to them. And they're super loyal. Like, they have way more personality than dogs, and they're really, really loyal.
A lot of times they are a lot more like lovable and enjoy your presence a lot more than a cat you may adopt from a shelter would.
Yeah, because they've had hard times. These cats know what it is to be freezing. These cats know what it is to starve. These cats know what it is to live their entire lives in a constant state of fear. And then we scoop them up, and initially we are scary also. And then they learn that we're not, and they know the difference between where they were and where they are. Should we talk about how we got started?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. This feels too staged.
Yes.
Ugh. Hi, Twizzler. Come see your girl. Come be in our first video.
Sitting here looking all pretty boy. Where's your pretty boy?
He had a brain injury. He'd be dead right now. If we didn't do what we do.
This is Twizzler. We saved him from a barn under like the floorboards
Of a loft.
of a loft, yeah.
Yeah.
And they were not any older than a week when we got them.
They were a day old.
A day old when we got them.
Mm-hmm.
And so he ended up having...
Well, wait. We should talk about the whole day. In the 2 days before. So 2 days before we brought Twizzler and his 2 brothers and his 3 sisters home, we were at the barn. We go to the barn just about every day, and we feed the cats there that we don't have space for inside. So we...
He blends in.
Huh?
He blends in.
He does blend in. So we were there and we saw his mama, and that's what we called her for a long time until we named her Annika. And we tried to trap her before she gave birth. And but we couldn't, because the day that we probably would have trapped her, the round bales that she had her nest in was moved. And all of the hay bales were moved to a different barn across town. So she was really stressed. She was like hours away from giving birth, and her nest got destroyed and taken away. And we tried really, really hard to trap her that day, and she was so stressed that she wasn't even hungry. She wasn't going after the wet food that we had in the trap for her. So she gave birth at the barn. She found a good spot in the floorboards. We sat out there till like 10 or 11 o'clock that night, hoping that we would trap her.
Yeah.
And it was no luck. It was dark. It was kind of spooky in the barn. And we had Manny, who was bottle feeding, because she was just a few days old. We'll talk about her after. But, yeah, so she had her kittens in the floorboards. And then the day after that, so the day the hay bales left, and then the following day we didn't see Annika at all. And then the next day we went and we trapped Annika, and then we found the kittens.
Yeah.
And Bella is a superstar. She was all like helping me yank up plywood floorboards and like sticking her arms in underneath, and there's all the old gross insulation, and hopefully our lungs are fine. And pulled out 6 plump little kittens, 1-day-old kittens, and Twizzler was one of them.
It was definitely worth it because all of them have a home now.
All 6.
Except for Twizzler.
Well, Twizzler has a home.
Yeah.
Twizzler will forever have a home with From Feral to Family. He is
our feral cat ambassador.
Yes.
Because when he was about 2 weeks old, he had a brain injury, which at first we thought was wobbly kitten syndrome. But after talking to the vet, they said it doesn't get any better, and he has definitely improved. So he couldn't walk, he couldn't run, he couldn't play really without falling over.
Got his name because when we first realized that he was not gaining weight as quickly as his brothers, and I picked him up, and he was like a spiral. He turned his head first, and I was holding him in my hand, and he's only 2 weeks old, so he fit, and he just would twist, just rotate, like running in place, but he was twisting in place. So his name's Twizzler now because of
that. Yeah, so we taught him how to walk.
We basically did physical therapy without like an official physical therapy plan.
Yeah. And now he is crazy. And he is one out of the 3 feral cat ambassadors that From Feral to Family has. So they are From Feral to Family's cats.
And they will get to stay with us for the duration of our rescue, and they will be a help to new cats and kittens coming in. I don't know if this is like actual science or not, but I feel like they, when terrified feral cats see other cats with us, I think that they know that we're not going to hurt them. That doesn't necessarily mean they like us right off, but it at least helps them to not be terrified of us and think that we are predators to them. One of the saddest things is going to the barn and seeing these cats where they have been since they were born, and just in their everyday life having to walk around with their belly to the ground because they're so scared and they're on such high alert. And it's just very sad that they're never just at ease. They never get to just play. I'm gonna go get Manny. Manny. Ooh. Cat people juice. This is my Manny. She would also be dead if she was born where her mother spent most of her pregnancy because of this little curly fry and because of this little hang noodle. So Manny was born without fully formed front legs, and her mother, who is still here and is still feral, her name's Lady, she immediately rejected her. So Manny was bottle fed from day 1 until she was about 8 weeks. Manny would not have made it. Like we came in the morning and Lady had her litter. And Manny has a brother who is a bit darker. His name's Boris now. And he was adopted. But he also, he had a strand of the towel in his mouth, and it was kind of stuck there. And he and Manny were away from the rest of the litter. She was nursing the rest of the litter, and these two were cold. So we managed to help Boris out and get that thread out of his mouth and put him over by her, and he was able to start nursing, and she took care of him. And There's also a gray female and 2 black males in that litter along with Manny.
That have also been adopted.
Except for one black male was like half the size he should have been when he was born, and he unfortunately only lived for about a day. That was really hard. It was our very first litter that we've ever taken care of, and he was our first loss, and that was hard. But Manny made it, and she is incredibly special. We've brought her out because we would like to register her as a therapy cat, because she's too special to be for any one person, so she should be for everybody. And like, you can't hold Manny and not have a smile on your face.
Yeah.
She's just the sweetest little soul. She's got this physical disability, but she doesn't care. She still
runs around.
She runs, she jumps, she's happy. She's so happy. So she's another one of our feral cat ambassadors, because her mom is still feral. And if we weren't doing what we do, Manny wouldn't be here. Twizzler wouldn't be here.
A lot of these guys might not be here.
Yeah.
I think what a lot of people think about feral cats, and I have to admit I thought it once, is like they don't socialize and they'll be happy where they are. But I think that if there's one thing I want anybody to know, it's that they can socialize, and there is a million places they would rather be than outside. And that just because they're surviving doesn't mean they like it.
Yeah. Like, after doing this for a year, I mean, Roscoe was the perfect example. He was so rough when we trapped him.
Yeah.
And he was so miserable, and he came in with this horrible injury, and he just he resisted for so long, and he was aggressive. He was not like some of these other ones that are just kind of afraid, and they like kind of cower in the back corner. He'd come up and smack the food dish right out of my hand. Little stinker. I had to like hang a towel over my left arm so I could clean out his enclosure with my right arm so that I wouldn't get scratched up or bit. He bit me a couple of times too.
But now he is healthy. His leg is healed. He does have a little bit of a limp, which will more than likely be permanent. But he is adopted with a kitten that we rescued, and they became best friends. And they were the cutest pair. So they got adopted together. And now they are happy in a home.
Roscoe is one of the most loving cats that I've ever met. He would rub on our faces. We could carry him, which some of these kittens even don't like to be carried. And Roscoe would be carried. He loved to sit on our laps. He just the friendliest cat. Once he realized that he was safe and that he could be happy, and that, oh wow, it's really nice when a human pets me, and this positive contact is really, really nice. He settled into his new home. He was snuggling his new mom's lap on the second or third day, and she sent me a picture of him snuggling her. And there are lots of cats that have been around people their entire lives that don't want to do that 2 days after meeting somebody.
Another thing that is, the cats that are still afraid of us. It's going to take time, and we have time.
And they've all made progress in one form or another. Just because Piper still doesn't want to be pet after a year, and Keo loved being pet after a month or two, Piper smelling our hands without swatting us at this point is huge for her. She's made a lot of progress for her. Because she was like, we couldn't even reach out our arms to let her hands to let her smell us. And she would scratch. They're very emotionally intelligent.
Yeah.
Ouch, Donka.
And all of them need different things to be socialized. Some need a little bit of pushing, so you just kind of have to go for it. Some need their space and need to make progress on their own. And some don't really need anything other than to be touched.
And, we don't know what they have been through. We had a 1-week-old kitten that we brought in, and he was terrified of the other cats. Who knows what he went through? If he was harmed by an adult cat in the colony, or I don't even know. But he had never seen people before, but he wanted to be around people more than he wanted to be around cats.
And he still does.
Yeah. But he enjoys cats now. He'll play with them now because he's learned that the ones here, they're not going to hurt him. Everybody here is just wants to play. And I think is happy that they're not out in the freezing temperatures this week.
Yeah. Yeah, and we are a 501c3 nonprofit, so that means we do run off donations. So to get any of these cats fixed or treated, or anything to get their food and all the stuff they need, we run off donations.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to get their things.
Mm-hmm. And we decided we talked about doing a YouTube and a podcast in the beginning, and we ended up not being able to get to it. But now we're at a point where we've realized that nobody really knows what it is we're doing here. Nobody really understands how big this is for each of these cats. These cats bring so much joy to so many people. Our adopters adore their cats. And we want more people to get to experience that. And so we're going to try to kind of take you guys along with us and try to talk about what we're doing and problems that we've run into, and just show you cute cats and kittens.
And make it clear that just because a feral cat is feral does not mean they won't ever trust humans, does not mean they deserve anything less than
the best possible care.
Yeah, a social cat would. They didn't choose this life, and
they're not being served by most animal rescue organizations.
Yeah.
The status quo is TNR. I literally had a spay and neuter veterinarian tell me feral cats are just fine the way they are, and they the best thing for them is to trap them, have them sterilized, and put them back where they came from. And
there's people, a lot of these people think that, we take the feral cats in. If they're pregnant, they have their kittens. And until the kittens are well enough to live on their own, they will stay with their mom. But once they are ready, their mom will be released back. And they try to avoid the mom as much as possible.
Yeah, they don't think it's worth their time because they don't think that the mama cat will socialize. It's really hard to let these cats go and be adopted after spending so much time and energy, and we love them. Like, I think that that's part of what it takes to be a feral cat socializer, is to be able to love them like they're yours, but then also when somebody else is offering that love to them, to let them go and let them have that family that they deserve. And we can continue to love other cats and give them better lives just by loving them. Like, even I love the cats that are still outside and they're feral and I've never been able to touch them. I love the cats that have been here a year and still don't want anything to do with us. I love them very much, and I will keep loving them, and hopefully they'll all get homes.
Yeah. I feel like love is the biggest part. Like, they will scratch you and they will bite you and they will hiss, and we had one sit in between this window and in between the glass and the screen
didn't fall out.
Yeah, and they're gonna hate you, but it all revolves around trust. So if you keep the trust and you show them that just because they don't trust you doesn't mean you don't love them or you don't want to love them. As long as you show them trust, they will eventually begin to realize that you're not just gonna fail on them.
Yeah, we have to give them enough time to work past their traumas that they've had, because the majority of their lives have been traumatic. The colony when we started had over 70 cats and kittens in it, and
we're not even finished.
We're not. There's still cats from that very first colony we started with when we were just fostering for another organization. We rescued and socialized 22 kittens in 2 months in 2020, October to December of 2020. 22 kittens came, and we loved them and taught them, and they went to a shelter, and the majority of them got adopted. Say hi, Asante. Asante's on a squash banana. That could be an ending clip. Asante's on a squash banana. Asante's on a squash banana. We love you. Do you see yourself? I'm so beautiful. Just like, get out of my way. I'm watching this video.
What's happening?
There's somebody in there.
Something's on.
There's somebody in there. We love our cats. We take care of them. We love them. The goal is for them to find a home as quickly as possible, but we're not going to let go of a cat that isn't ready to go live in a home yet. We're really good at telling who's ready and who's not. It's important to us that this problem doesn't continue, because these cats, these adorable, sweet little things, don't deserve to be treated like garbage and ignored.
And it's not just kittens. There are 2 big cats sleeping right there and 2 big cats sleeping right there. And Isis, who is missing an eye and her other eye is cloudy, is right there.
She's almost 2 years old. We trapped her. She was almost a year old when we trapped her. Probably coming up on a year old. And she was about the size of a 5-month-old kitten because she was so malnourished because of her physical disability. She's so lucky that she lived. She wouldn't have made it much longer out there. It was winter when we trapped her. She was severely malnourished. She was full of worms. She wouldn't have made it much longer. She was skin and bones.
Yeah.
She's very lucky she made it as long as she did.
Yeah.
She's full grown now. She's happy. She plays. They all play. They all float down here. I'm sorry, Elena. Did we disturb your beauty sleep? Apologies, dear. Will you let me? She hates my honey. She doesn't hate you. Your hand. Maybe if you draw some tattoos on your hand, she'll like you. I have tattoos on both my hands. Sweetie girl. I was starting to worry she wasn't going to socialize. We love our cats.
Yes, we do.
We want them to be your cats, though.
Yeah.
We just want to get them to the point where they want to be your cat.
Get them a home. Now.
What you doing? I know, Jack. Jack. This little dude just walked up to me and licked wet food off my finger, and that's how we got him. Bella likes to say, Twizzler's mad at me.
Because he is
He is
sometimes.
not. He just is a boy. Our cats need homes. If you want a cat, one of the best cats ever, great personality, beautiful hair, great company.
Perfect everything.
Just from feraltofamily.org/adoption, fill out an application. We want our cats to have homes.
Or to just check out our website. It would just be from feraltofamily.org.
Yep. We need and appreciate donations. Every penny is appreciated. Seriously, we have a few donation coin collection boxes at local stores, and every penny is appreciated. Over the 8 or 9 months that we had them up last year, we ended up with over $800 in them. So thank you to our local community for all of your donations to our box. And if you'd like to donate, you can do so through PayPal.
Our website. We run fundraisers on Facebook and Instagram from time to time.
So we thank you. The cats thank you. Everybody out there, stay feral. Bye.